At my cousin's New Year dinner, Zhou Yuchen stood up with a red face and a lantern glow from wine. His words were pretty. He said, "Grandmother, this house will be mine someday. I will care for you until the end." The table burst into applause like he had won a prize. Someone shouted, "Good grandson." Someone praised him for having a future. My grandmother smiled until her mouth could not close. A missing tooth flashed under the light like a child's pride. I smiled too, not because I was happy, because I felt a professional chill. I smiled because I had seen this scene too many times. The louder the applause, the more dangerous the elder. The second he finished, my phone buzzed. It was not a holiday text. It was a red flag alert from our partner platform. High-risk guardianship warning. My grandmother's national ID was a match. The reason line was written in a cold machine tone. Multiple large transfers in a short window. Changes in account proxy authority. Abnormal night login frequency. The person sitting beside my grandmother, feeding her food, wiping her mouth, smiling the sweetest smile, was the same good grandson who had just raised his glass. Zhou Yuchen. In that moment I understood something ugly about family ethics. Many tragedies do not begin with a knife. They begin with a promise that sounds too good to refuse. My name is Zhou Yubai. I work in intake screening and emergency coordination for a legal aid center focused on elder rights. Outsiders think I answer phones. Relatives are blunter. They say I studied law. They say I love to argue. They do not know my job is not afraid of statutes. Statutes at least follow logic. What I fear is a round dinner table. A round table runs on face, seniority, smoothing things over, and the universal glue phrase. It is New Year. Do not ruin the mood. My grandmother is 81. Her hearing is weak. Her heart is soft. She believes two things with her whole life. First, a grandson is the root. Second, a family must stay harmonious. Put those two beliefs together and you push an old woman toward risk. She would rather wrong herself than let her grandson lose face in front of relatives. Yuchen is 6 years younger than me. As a kid he fought me for the remote. As an adult he fights me for the spotlight. He is sweet. He knows how to flatter. He posts photos. He captions them. Took grandmother for a checkup. Quiet years, quiet days. The more likes he gets, the more he looks like a filial template. I do not post. I only watch the curves behind the template. Transfers. Authorization. Signing. Changes. I am not jealous of his popularity. I am scared. I am scared grandmother will treat face scan as obedience. I am scared she will treat a fingerprint as do not make the child embarrassed. 2 weeks before the incident, I visited the old house with cured meat. Grandmother held my hand and said Yuchen is thoughtful. He helped me with so many things. I asked what things. She thought like she was naming dishes. He said it was convenient. You just press once. My stomach dropped. Convenient. The lighter that word sounds in an elder's mouth, the higher the risk looks on my screen. I could not scare her. Scaring her would push her into a moral trap. You do not trust your grandson. I could only bend the road. I said, grandmother, from now on read before you press. If there are many words, do not rush. Call me. She nodded like it was a small promise. Then she peeled an apple for Yuchen and said your sister read too many books. Too many rules. Yuchen laughed and said it is an occupational disease. This is what makes family ethics exhausting. Love is real. Favoritism is real. Risk gets wrapped in sugar. New Year dinner was organized by my second uncle. The The round table was polished until it shined. Fish must face a certain way. Wine must go in rounds. There are rules inside rules. Yuchin's performance was flawless. Toast lines stacked like stairs. He served soup for grandmother and blew it cool. He remembered she does not eat cilantro. Relatives said elders must rely on grandsons. My mother said I should learn from my brother. Stop burying yourself in work. My chopsticks paused 1 second. I was not angry. I realized when everyone sets the story as the grandson is the best, even if I hold a red flag alert, I look like a person handing out flyers at the wrong time. When Yuchin toasted grandmother, his tone turned casual like improv and rehearsal at once. He said, "Grandmother, relax. I will take you to the city and a bigger apartment someday. This old house just sits. Better transfer it to my name early so I can use it for a mortgage and real business. When I earn money, I will hire a nanny for you." The table cheered. Someone said, "How filial." Someone pretended to understand. Young people face pressure. Activating a house is a good thing. Grandmother did not know how heavy mortgage is. She only heard take you to the city. Hire a nanny. She nodded like she was handing her whole life's reliance away. I set my chopsticks down. My voice was not loud enough for the near seats. I said, "Grandmother, the house is not urgent. Give me your phone for a moment." Yuchin laughed at once. He said, "Sister, are you doing a census on New Year?" Second uncle frowned. He said, "Yubai, do not kill the mood." Grandmother moved her phone toward Yuchin like protecting a cub. That small move hurt more than a curse. She was not malicious. She was using her way to keep the family peace. I breathed in deep. I told myself I cannot win a mouth fight tonight. I can only win an outcome. A mouth fight would tear grandmother in half. An outcome could at least let her sleep through the night. I used an excuse my unit needs to confirm elder fraud prevention registration. I took grandmother to the balcony. Cold wind hit. She shrank her neck. She asked what registration. I said like a village vaccine notice. Just a process. I showed her the platform alert with sensitive details hidden. I let her see the line that said high-frequency transfers. She squinted like reading skywriting. She did not know high frequency. She knew money. I asked grandmother, "Did you withdraw money lately?" She shook her head. She said, "I barely leave the door." I asked, "Did Yuchin ask you to scan your face or leave fingerprints?" She paused like she was caught. She said yes. He said it was convenient. When those words came out, sweat climbed my back. Many elder financial abuse cases end in the same sentence in the record. He said it was convenient. On the third day of New Year, I insisted on taking grandmother to the town branch for statements. I said it's soft. I said I want to set up a fraud shield for you. The bank needs statements. She complained trouble. She still went. She fears troubling others. She fears making me unhappy more. We queued at the counter. Yuchin called fast. His voice was sharp. "Where are you taking grandmother?" I said, "A health check." He sneered. "Stop pretending. Do you suspect me?" I did not answer suspect or not. I said, "You can come too. Learn what transparency means." He came dressed sharp like he was closing a deal. Inside the bank, he smiled and shook the manager's hand like family. That warmth made me more alert. The skilled harm often starts by becoming trustworthy in public first. The statement printed thick. Grandmother could not read it. I read slow like slow motion accident. One day a large outflow. Note said internal transfer. One night mobile banking login. Location showed the city. One page said wealth products subscription. The yield looked sweet. The redemption clause read like rope. The counter manager glanced and lowered voice. These entries need the elder to explain purpose. Yuchen cut in at once. He said, I help grandmother invest. Cash in a demand account is waste for elders. The manager smiled polite. The smile had professional distance. We need confirmation of the elder's true intent. I took grandmother to a side seat. I squatted. I held her hands. I did not use the word scam. That word would spike her. I asked the life question she understands. Grandmother, do you still want tofu every day? She nodded. Of course I do. I said, tell me, when this money left, did you know where it went? She looked at me. She looked at Yuchen. Fear arrived late in her eyes. She realized she stood in the middle of a bridge. Lights on both ends. She did not know which shore was real. Yuchen's face changed. He still braced. He said, sister, you cannot stand to see the family succeed. Second uncles surrounded us too. He said New Year should not look this ugly. Someone whispered, girls read too much. Hearts go hard. I have heard this 100 times. The goal is always the same. Drag the issue from money and safety back to faith and obedience. I asked Yuchen 3 questions. Nails on facts, not nails on insults. First, did grandmother know the risk level of every sum? Second, if loss happens, can she survive it? Can she sleep? Third, why did you change the SMS receiver number? Why so many night logins? Yuchen's lips shook. He suddenly raised volume. He said, I am under pressure. I owe money. If I do nothing, the whole family falls. That sentence broke the dinner table warmth forever. Grandmother jerked her head up like pushed in the chest. She said, what? What did you say? I closed my eyes one breath. I was not shocked by debt. Many elder exploitation stories are not pure evil behind the young person. Sometimes it is young people dragged to the cliff by online loans, comparison, face culture. Still, the worst cushion at the cliff edge should never be an elder's pension and home. I did not cast Yuchen as a cartoon villain. That is not true life. That also hurts recovery. I did 2 things. Stop loss. Isolate. Stop loss means free suspicious paths where possible. Challenge improper proxy under law. Recover what can be recovered. Isolate means every major decision for grandmother in the short term needs third-party witness. Village cadre, bank officer, lawyer, anyone works. As long as it is no longer grandson and grandmother behind a closed door for convenience. That night grandmother sat by the stove fire. The flame jumped. She did not sob loud. She repeated one line. Am I senile? I sat on a small stool and watched fire with her. I said, you are not senile. You are too good at being a grandmother. She looked up. Tears fell at once. She said, I only fear you children will fight. That sentence hurt me. Many Chinese elders are not blind to risk. They are more afraid their children will turn into enemies. So they would rather hand money away in exchange for one sentence. We are still one family. I told her a hard true line. One family is not covering for each other until bankruptcy. One family is pulling each other back from the cliff edge. What followed was mediation and legal and banking complaint work. I will not turn it into revenge fiction. In real life, some money returns. Some becomes tuition. Some relatives understand you. Some curse you cold in the group chat. Yuchen moved out for a while. He did not become a saint overnight. He did not become a devil either. He looked like a person pushed by face and debt. That does not erase the risk he put on grandmother. It reminds us ethics is often not one bad person. It is a chain. Later someone messaged me privately. Thank you. I checked my mother's accounts too. Only then I learned puncturing one family can stop loss in another. Grandmother hid her passbook in the rice jar like an older era. She does not know legal articles. She knows one sentence. Yubai is not trying to win. She is trying to let me sleep. There is a common moral hijack in family ethics. People say it is all for the elders' good. If good does not land on informed consent, safety, dignity, then the elder becomes a prop. Theft starts looking like filial piety. Real filial duty is not deciding everything for an elder. Real filial duty is helping her keep the right to say no in her later years.